Amazon earnings. Let's have a review at the stock and let's see if it's worth buying right now. The question I'm being asked, is Amazon a buy right now? We're going to look at some of the figures, intrinsic value, the price targets, what we can expect from tonight's earnings, what's happened in the past, some tricks of the trade, how you can get a quick 10% or even a 20% instant flash crash trade. We'll talk about that, and let's show you the figures of where we are with the earnings coming up tonight. And we are going to cover it live, so I'll give you the link for that in a minute of how you can join me for the live event and how we're going to trade this and some important figures. So if it's your first time, click subscribe and ring the bell, and as always, tap the like button. That helps share the video out to more people. So is Amazon a buy? Well, you'll all know famously I made some money on this one when it went down 20% in 1 second just before the earnings. It was leaked and it dropped, a massive drop once upon a time, about 5 or 6 quarters ago. And it's quite a dramatic moment. I picked it up somewhere in the region of about $90, something like that. And I held it and made like a 38% profit. I'm currently out of Amazon. I hold just a market share of 1.68. You can see there's my market share in my main account, just a tiny little bit. And it's a great company. I use it for everything. I believe in it. It's not just about online shopping, of course. There's many other things that Amazon does. Many people just focus on the online shopping, but there's so much more. But we try to, at least I try to here on my show, bring you the most honest, real information and buy companies when they are undervalued. Simple as that. Basic maths, really. Let's share with you my thoughts and the figures for Amazon and where I'm going to play it and how I'm going to enter the stock again tonight for the earnings. So let's go into our intrinsic value and see how we value the company. Now, the worst case scenario we'll look at first. If we value the company at $47 a share, 47 and 37, then at the moment you'd be overvalued by 60%. Okay, you'd be overvalued by 60%. It'd be way too expensive. That's the worst case scenario. The base case scenario, which is more likely, and that would be $74.62, and that would mean we're overvalued again at 37%. If we value the company at $140 a share, then you're undervalued at this point. So we're going to go on the base case. The base case is the best, the valuation that we have, and that shows we are overvalued. So should you be buying the stock here at $118? Well, we need to understand that certain companies will always be overvalued because people are buying at the future price. They are buying the growth of the company and where the company is likely to grow. So of course, if the company wasn't moving at all, then this would be ridiculous, paying $118, which is where it is today, when the actual value of the company is $74 a share. However, because we know the company is growing and continually growing, and we know the history of Amazon, then it's not so bad, right? So we like to go on the base case. In the worst case scenario, we'd like to buy it for $47, but that's not the case right now. It's $118. And at $140 it would be undervalued, so that gives you an idea of the actual value. But we're okay with paying a forward-thinking price because the company is growing. However, I'm going to tell you now in a minute where my price target is tonight, where I want to buy it and think I probably will get it at that price. You'd be quite surprised when I tell you what I think. Anyway, let's go down and have a look at the chart here. We can see, now this is where I entered the price. This is how I like it. I like it around here. To me, this makes sense. Am I likely to get a price of $83 tonight? No, I doubt it very much. However, I'm going to be trying to buy it around here, an allocation of maybe $5,000 around about 98, and then I'll have a few more shares to buy it around 90 or even below that if I can get that. And that gives me a good chance of making money in the pretty much short term, maybe within 12 months. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at. Let's scroll down and look at some fundamental figures I put together for you here. The revenue of Amazon is up 3% at the moment, $538 billion. Not that much, up 3%. We're looking at 33% operating income, $17.7 billion is the operating income. The net income is up 204%, 13 billion. Okay. Operating cash flow up 14% at 61.8 billion. Capital expenditure is down 58.6 billion, down 7%. Okay. And the free cash flow is 3.2 billion. Okay. The balance sheet decomposition, you can see the current assets 478 billion and the liabilities 309 billion. So we're on the right side of Amazon. It's a good company, has a good balance sheet. It holds plenty of cash. There's no issue there. It's a good company. Everybody knows, but if you're going to make money as an investor, you've got to buy it at the right price. There's no point just buying it and hoping the stock will grow into the price that you've paid for it. Then we look at the gross margins, 46%. Now, how has that changed over time? Let me just zoom in here, make it a bit clearer for you. Over 10 years, it was 37%. Last 7 years, 40%. 5 years, 41%. And 3 years, 42%. So we can see things are improving there. The operating margins, 10 years, 3%. 7 years, 4%. 5 years, 5%. And 3 years, 5%. So slight improvement there on operating margins as well. And the net margin, very, very important. 10 years, 2%. 7 years, 3%. 4 and 4 as we go. So things are improving for the company there when it comes to the margins. We like to see that. Let's scroll down to a bit more information for you. Let me just zoom it just so it fits the screen perfectly. I make these during live videos, so I don't do any editing at all. I just produce the video as it is. Let me scroll down. Fundamental scores. Now, we like this. This is a good reading as well. We like to look at the profitability score. 51, positive gross profit. 51 out of 100 is the Amazon profitability score. Amazon solvency score, 57. Amazon's solvency score, 57. The higher the solvency score, the more solvent the company is. Okay, so not too bad on all of this. Everything's looking good. So what are we looking at as far as buying it tonight? Well, we'd like to buy Amazon. I'd like to enter it. I sold it at a 38% profit. It's a great company. I love it. I believe in it for the future. It's a lot more than online shopping, of course. We're talking about AI, big investment in IonQ as well, quantum computers, and many other things as well. So my target tonight is if I can get around about the $98, something like that. I'll have an allocation, but I'll keep some money on hand so I can buy it slightly lower than that as well. Now, what we've had in history, and it's happened once that I've been doing it anyway, I set a 20% drop, as I do for most of my earnings, as you never know if you're going to get a flash crash or somebody leak the earnings. Now we know roughly what Amazon are going to do tonight, but you never know. There can be some people who will want to exit the stock. I know many people that have owned Amazon for a long time that bought it when it was pennies, and at some point they want to retire, take their money and run and live on a beach. And whales like that can suddenly dump the stock and you can get a flash crash. It can happen. If you or I dump the stock, nothing happens. We don't have billions of shares of Amazon. But certain people can do that. So it's always worth, if you want to buy a stock, setting yourself a ridiculously low price, somewhere around the base case price, if you can. And, go all in at 20% discount if you know you want to buy the stock and it's already down like Amazon is. So that's how I'm going to play it. Join me tonight for the earnings. Click above my head for the earnings. I'll be right there. And over here, there'll be more information about I'll post the earnings video there and you can join me for that. All right. So join me tonight for the earnings. Are you ready for a nice evening of making money on Amazon? And also, if you are interested, we are covering live the earnings tonight of Enphase Energy. Join us for that as well. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.